Hi, my name is Morgan and welcome to my channel. So today you're gonna watch me as I um, bake some zucchini bread. It's very chocolatey. I'm coming to you from the future and it was delicious. But we're also going to be talking about pivoting today, and you'll see a little bit of me putting some of that pivoting into action. I'll be editing some of my first pages so that I can submit them to a contest. So that's just kind of the basics. There really just comes a time in the whole process when you can have done everything you possibly can to make it better and it's just not working. So you need to pivot. And so we're going to be discussing kind of what it means to pivot today, not in super depth, but just talk a little bit about some steps that we can take to move forward. And even when we think everything is as good as it's going to get. Okay, and now the zucchini bread is finished. Let me see. Messy. It's messy, it's chocolatey, it's done. It's here for me to write with. Today we are going to just kind of clean up my first chapter of my novel. I had already thought that it would be like plenty cleaned up. Like obviously I'm querying it. I've had so many people look at it at this point and professionals. And sorry, one second, my dog. Okay, we have a visitor. Say hello to my dog. Um, Today she really wants the chocolate bread, which she's not allowed. Okay, where were we? I have had so many people look at it at this point. I had like six beta readers. I've had my husband look at it, and he's not even a beta reader. I've had some people look at it multiple times. Um, I have been very like diligent in trying to make especially my first 10 pages as good as they can be. I guess even with all of that, it's still not getting like any um any even with that, it's not getting any good responses. Querying, a lot of the times all you send is your first 10 pages. Some people ask for 20, but I think the most common is 10. And nobody's asked for more. So it's time to pivot. As I've heard a lot of like professionals talk about, you got to learn when to pivot. So I'm pivoting. I'm trying to figure out what I need to do from here because obviously something's not working. And it could be my query letter and it could be my first 10 pages. So we are going to work on the first 10 pages. The first 10 pages, my first chapter are the same thing. So I'm also cleaning up my first 10 pages because I'm doing a conference. I'm attending a conference from home, a writing conference in May. They have a first chapter contest, which is great. Based on the responses from literary agents so far, I don't expect to win anything. But I think what is far more valuable than trying to like beat out other people at writing is with the entry, everyone will get feedback on those first 10 pages. And the judges on this are like professional writers, published authors, they're, um, I think, editors and literary agents. So, like, this could be really valuable to get feedback on this. The entry was like $35, I think, and which is pretty standard for contests that I've looked at. And I think it's worth it, especially for like getting this feedback, even though I don't think I'm going to win the contest. Either way, I want my pages to be in the best shape they can be. And so that's what we're going to work on today. We're going to work on getting my pages to where they need to be. Hopefully. I thought they were where they would need it to be before. So I have not looked at my manuscript in depth with like an editing eye for about like 2 or 3 months now. So I think it's a good time to go back in and take a look at it and figure out what what's going on, figure out what I need to do with it, and that's where we are. Welcome. So I'm going to pull up some live streams. I write really well with hi with some writing sprints, and if I put on a live stream, then it keeps me on track. Somebody else has to tell me when I can take a break, how long it is, and then go back in. It's made writing feel a lot less lonely for me. Oh, hopefully you like dogs. It's made writing feel a lot less lonely for me to like have these live sprints, right, live writing sprints, live streams, with other author tubers to like feel like I'm part of a community that answer some questions in between. I can gather up what I need to go back to writing. So that's what we're doing today. So, hi. So, hi, my name's Morgan, and let's get into it. Let's get to writing. How do you know when you should pivot? I think it really comes down to your gut of when you think that things just aren't working. At this point, I've sent about 45 queries, and no one has asked for more pages. No one's asked me to read anything else. I've gotten a bunch of form rejections. It's funny, actually, my very first query I sent, I got a personalized rejection, which normally means that something is working, something's good. And what the agent said was that they thought I was a talented writer, but that the pages needed more polishing, that it was still rough. So after that, I went back and I did more line editing. I did some major grammar edits. Um, but after that, I thought I was like good to go. And maybe not because nobody else has requested anything either. So um, it makes me think that there's something wrong with the pages instead of the query. So even though I thought that things were working before, they obviously are not. And so, how to pivot, the first thing you can do is you can go back to the drawing board. You can take a look at your pages like I did, but in theory, you would have already done that, right? The next thing is you can have somebody else look at your pages for you and tell you what's wrong. You can pay someone to do this. You can um, reach out on the internet. Um, Another thing you can do is you can decide what would make it more marketable. You can take a look at your idea or your manuscript and say what is not so marketable about this. Like I know with my protagonist, maybe she comes off a little bit stiff. She's really anxious, and maybe that's just not what people are connecting with. You need to ask someone else because, in theory, you've done all you can to try to make it better, and you need to look for more resources. Something else you could do is you can shelve it and move on and find something else to do next, something different. I think that's a lot of what they mean by pivoting most of the time is like finding something new. But I think in this case, it's like finding something new with the manuscript to do. Instead of just sending more queries, I am taking a look at what I can do with my pages, even if it's going to take longer in the process to get them out. What are some things that you guys would do to pivot? I didn't really ask that. While we're at it, if you are enjoying my content, you can like and subscribe. That would help me out a lot. I'm just a small creator right now and I'm trying to figure this all out. But I would enjoy any feedback you have for me. If you have any ideas of what I could do in this case, um, I'm just trying to figure it out. What I think is not working, like I'm sitting here reading through the first chapter and I'm just reading. Like there were a couple first thing, like tweak things I was doing at the beginning, but I'm having trouble like thinking of what to change as I go on. Which is really hard because I've read this so many times. Eyes kind of just glaze over at the words. Like I don't know what's wrong with it. That's frustrating. But I'm gonna keep reading it. I'm gonna try to go in it with a fresh like look. I'm gonna maybe look at some first chapters of other books in a similar genre to see what they're doing. Because obviously something isn't working. I think it's in a good spot. Like I really do think this is a good first chapter, and I've gotten that feedback from other people. but I don't know where to go with it. And I guess that's part of why we're doing this, why we're submitting it for feedback. Um, and part of me doesn't want to make too big of changes in case something is working and the feedback just gives me things to tweak instead of like overhauling this first chapter. I don't know what to do, but right now I'm just going to tweak the little things. I'm going to try to pay attention on a line level to what's working. Um, Maybe take a look at my descriptions and my dialogue and like the interiority and see if those are all equal and feeling level with each other. Um, because yeah, at this point I'm just reading it. I'm not like editing anything. So, I need to dive in a little bit more. So that's just an update of where we are. But I'm not making many changes right this second. So that's fun. Okay, I finished and I submitted my entry for the contest. We'll see how that goes. It will be a few months until we know what's happening. For now, it's submitted and we'll see. I'm hoping that this feedback will help me know what to do next. I'm thinking I'm going to take a pause on sending out any more queries until I get the feedback because I think the changes that I made weren't big ones. So I really don't think that they'll solve all my querying issues. And by that, I mean just no one requesting any more than what I send them. So we'll see. Something else I want to do is I want to fix up my query letter. Um, and so I'm going to be doing some submitting that to some places for review as well. I am looking to enter today or tomorrow into another contest. This one's a first page contest. It's free to enter. By the time I post this, it won't be available anymore because it's due on Monday. So I'm going to actually no Tuesday. So I am going to get my first page ready for that, which I just barely, polished it up. So I will get that ready. That one doesn't come with free feedback. The prize for that one is the feedback from an agent. So I'm not planning to win that one, but it's free. Might as well. Why not? So that's that for this video. I think just what I've learned so far, I guess, in this part of the process is that you don't know when you're done, and sometimes you need to be able to know and to go to others for help, and even just more than your usual people, your usual group for help. I think at some point I would like a writing group. I don't really have one of those. I do have a couple writing friends that I go to for feedback, but I don't have a regular group that I meet with. So I think that would be a good addition as well in figuring out how to pivot. I think I really just need some professional help, somebody who knows what they're talking about and has been there and is a professional in this process. So that's what I'm trying to do with these entries, and we'll see how it goes. In the meantime, while I wait for all that feedback, I am going to continue working on my book. I actually do have another book idea that I might jump into a first draft for because I'm just feeling better about it than the other one I'm working on. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, that's all for today. Thanks for coming. Thanks for writing, and we'll see you next time.